Sean and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we would discuss all of the books that I DNF'd in 2017. I am what is known as a serial DNF'er. I have absolutely no issues with putting a book down if I can't be asked to read it, if I'm not into it, if it's just not the right time for me to read it. If I'm 500 pages into the book and I'm bored, I will put it down. If I'm 2 pages into the book and I'm bored, I will put it down. I do not care about forcing myself to read a book. I'm not about that life. I know that I'm probably shocking a lot of people by saying that I really don't care about DNF'ing books, because I know that there are a lot of readers out there that physically cannot bring themselves to put a book down. I'm not one of those people. I personally believe that if I'm not in the mood to read the book, then it's got to go down, because I'm not willing to put myself in a reading slump. And I think this is a tip that lots of people could benefit from, because it's definitely helped me in the last year, because that's when I've decided that actually, you know what, if I don't care about the book, I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to force myself to read it. And it's really helped, especially when there have been situations where I've been trying to read a book that I know I should like, but it's just not the right time. And I know that if I force myself to read that book, my experience with it isn't going to be good. An example of that would be Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. When I first got this, just as it came out, I tried to read it and I could not, for the life of me, get into it. I didn't care about anything and I was bored. And I thought, you know what? I want to read this, and I want to read it as soon as possible. I know that I'm not in the right frame of mind to want to read this, and I know that I'm not going to end up enjoying it as much as I could do. So I put it down. I can't even remember how many pages I was into it, but I don't think it was more than 100. And then I picked it up again when I felt more in the mood to read it. I think I was on a holiday, so I was nice and relaxed, so I thought, okay, now is the time to read Strange the Dreamer. Picked it up, read it straight through, and it was my favourite book of last year. So that is just one example of why DNF'ing books can actually be a good thing. So, side rant over, I'm now going to go into the books that I DNF'd last year. Some of these are books that actually I probably am not going to pick up again, but then there are a few of them that I've DNF'd where I think eventually I will get around to reading them, but at that time they just weren't what I wanted, and I knew that if I carried on reading them, I'd put myself in a slump, as discussed, and I wouldn't enjoy them as much as I possibly could do. So the first book on the list is actually one that is an example of, I knew that I'd like it, but it wasn't the right time. I think I was trying to read it for Tome Topple, and I just could not get into it. I didn't care enough at that time to want to read it, and that is Children of Blood and Bone by Tommy Adamy. I'm really sorry if I pronounced that wrong. This has got a lot of hype actually surrounding its release. I think it's out, or it's coming out soon. I was lucky enough to be sent an ARC. You can actually see my bookmark in it. I just wasn't in the right frame of mind to read it, and I really wanted to enjoy it. This is really one that I want to read when I'm in the right frame of mind, and I know that I'll like it. So I do really want to get to it, but I put it down because I knew that I wasn't going to enjoy it if I forced myself to read it. Second book on the list is Our Dark Duet by V.E. Schwab. I got quite far into this one and was really, really bored. I could not care less about the characters in this book in the second book. I enjoyed the first one. I thought it was okay. So I thought, okay, I'll read the second one. I think I was reading it during Comic-Con, and I was so bored. Because we were at Yelk and I was picking up loads of books that I thought would interest me more, and this just slowly made its way down the list of what I actually wanted to read at that time. So I put it down, because why not? Next book that I DNF'd that still has the bookmark in it is Three Dark Crowns by Kendall Blake. This is how far I got into it. Clearly wasn't into it enough, got bored and put it down. The thing is, I have such a short attention span. When it comes to books, I find reading sometimes really difficult because there's so much other stuff that I want to be doing. Because I work with books, sometimes I kind of, when I get home from work, it's actually the last thing I want to do. Therefore, if I pick up a book, it's got to be a book that I'm going to be excited to read. And at that time, this wasn't one of them. Now, Sarah Jane's actually read this and really, really enjoyed it, and I've heard so many other good reviews on it that I didn't want to force myself to read it at that time because I wasn't enjoying it, and I thought actually it's probably because of the frame of mind that I'm in, so I'll put it down. I did. How many pages in was I? I was 129 pages in when I put this one down, I can't remember anything that happened, so this is definitely one that I will be picking up again in the future, because like I said, actually quite a few of these books are ones that I do want to read, I just didn't want to read when I picked them up, so yeah. Next book on the list is one that I definitely will not be picking up again, and that is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. Again, got a bookmark in it. I got this many pages in, which is 93 pages. Boring! So boring! My god, the main character was a snooze in the 93 pages that I read. I'm sorry, but if your main character cannot bloody interest me in 93 pages, then how is she gonna get any more better during these pages? I know character development and stuff like that, but even characters that have still got to develop can be interesting in the beginning. I mean, come on. And I knew that the moment, actually I think I stopped when the guy was introduced, because I knew it was going to be a insta-love that was going to irritate me, and it felt like I was being told the story, which I know sounds ridiculous, but I was reading it and it felt like a book, which I feel like sounds weird, but I feel like people will understand. Like, it felt like I was reading a story that had been written and I wasn't involved in the world, I didn't care, and then I accidentally spilt curry on it, so I felt like that was a sign from the gods that I should just put this book down and forget about it, because, I mean, I'm not going to read a book that smells of curry, am I? Next book on the list is one that I actually just genuinely forgot about. I forgot that I was reading it. Well, because I wasn't reading it, I was listening to the audiobook, and that is Talking as Fast as I Can by Lauren Graham. There is absolutely no particular reason why I stopped listening to this. I just genuinely forgot, and now I can't be bothered to get back into it. I just don't have I don't care enough, really. I enjoyed it whilst I was listening to it, but I just don't care to try and listen to it again and get back into it. I mean, I don't really read biographies, but I love Gilmore Girls, I love Lauren Graham, so I thought I'd give it a go. And it introduced me to audiobooks, so it served its purpose, kind of. Just didn't want to finish it. Oh, this has got bookmarked. God. So this is an example of me giving up very quick into the book because I'm just bored. I get so bored so quickly. Next is The Falconer by Elizabeth May. I've tried a couple of times to get into this book, so I may just have to call it a day. But as you can see, my bookmark, I was 69 pages into it. I think, if I remember correctly, I really liked the idea, but the way that they spoke really bothered me. Ooh, the bookmark just fell out. The way that they spoke really bothered me, and if something bothers me, even if it's tiny, I'll just be picking up on it for the rest of the book, and then I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Who cares? I don't. Why should I read it? Therefore, I'll put it down. Oh, this one is an even bigger example of when I do not even give the book much of a chance but get bored, therefore just give up. That is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. Tahir? I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong again. I do really want to read this, okay? But the couple of times that I've tried to read it have been times where I just haven't been interested enough, and I've kind of sat there like, what do I read? I don't know what to read. And then I pick up something, and if it's not the right something and I'm not in the right frame of mind for it, then it just doesn't work. I got 25 pages into this before I decided to give up the ghost. That actually may be a record for me, 25 pages. But, you know, it's one that I want to read and I feel like I could enjoy, therefore I want to read it at a time when I want to read it and when I'm not getting bored and thinking that bloody painting my toenails would be more interesting than reading a book. Although actually I don't mind painting my... Actually no, I don't like painting my nails because I get bored, I get impatient. I'm a very impatient person. You have to grip me like that, otherwise I'm gone. I'm gone, you know? If I don't care about your character within a few pages, I'm probably not going to care much at all throughout the rest of the book. I'm probably going to put it down. The final book on the list of books that I DNF'd in 2017 is The Big Lie by Julie Mayhew. I picked this up because Sarah Jane was talking about it, and I can't even say that I didn't like it because I didn't read enough to be able to form an actual opinion on it. But I think it's just not what I wanted to read. It's kind of a contemporary, and I think I wanted to read it, but me and contemporaries just don't have the best track record, and this is an example of that. So actually, I don't know if I'll ever pick this one up again, but I can't say that it's because I won't like it. It's just because I don't think I'll like it because it's contemporary, and I can't be asked to force myself through reading it to figure out if I would like it. I'm just lazy when it comes to reading, honestly. I'm a very lazy reader. So that's it for the books that I DNF'd in 2017. There are 8 in total. Technically I DNF'd Stranger Dreamer as well in 2017, so that could count as 9, but obviously I picked up Stranger Dreamer and read it again and loved it. So yeah, let me know down below in the comments if you are for or against DNFing a book, because I know that there are a lot of people that just physically can't, or they have to hit a certain number of pages before they do DNF, whereas obviously as shown, I don't care what page I'm on. If I'm not enjoying it, I will put the book down. Which I don't think is a bad thing. Like I said, it's all part of me trying to enjoy every book that I read, because last year I had such an average reading year, so I'm going to try my best this year to pick up books that actually interest me. And you know what, if they don't interest me within a certain few pages, then they're out. They are out for the time being, because I don't want to be getting in slumps. I don't have time to be getting in slumps. I don't have time to be forcing myself through books that I know I'm not enjoying. So I hope you enjoyed this video and me talking about DNFing books, because you know what? I love it. I love DNFing a book. Sarah Jane actually jokes that with her book that she's currently writing, that she needs to bloody make sure that it's catered to me and that her main character and her plot interest me like that. Otherwise, who knows, I could put it down. Bye!